Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So, this video we're going to talk about, will World War III happen? Because we are seeing some crazy shit happen overseas right now, right? We're seeing Russia invade the Ukraine, and it looks like they're going to steamroll over the Ukraine. There's nothing that Ukraine can do right now to stop it. No one else is jumping in to stop it. So it looks like Ukraine is done. Before it even began, we sort of knew that it was done. Now, one part of me was saying that this is not going to start the Third World War. Though I knew that there was going to be an invasion, I didn't think that this invasion would start the Third World War, right? Now, and there was a part of me, I have to admit, there was a part of me probably a week ago that I was thinking, oh, these guys are posturing. They're going to sit down at the table and they're going to make an agreement and it's going to be all over. Sort of like a wag the dog moment. But I was wrong. And then this shit started yesterday, and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. So now it's on. So again, I have to admit that I was wrong about two things. About thinking that this Ukraine thing was just posturing, and that this wouldn't start the Third World War. The reason why I'm now thinking, or rather back to thinking, that this is going to start the Third World War is because there are going to be multiple conflicts around the world now because of this. I'm thinking right now that China's going to invade Taiwan. And I'm going to get a little bit into that in another video. We're looking at the Iran deal, nuclear deal, and Israel isn't happy. Right now, Pakistan and India are being quiet, and South Korea and North Korea are being quiet. So if those two start barking up or start their conflicts, then that's going to move the needle to World War III a little faster than it is now. But right now, it's at a stalemate because nobody is jumping in to save Ukraine. At least it doesn't seem it. I know that the president just made an announcement saying that he was going to rally more troops, put them in Germany and Poland, but they're not going to fight in Ukraine. With President Putin warning that if anybody interferes with this campaign, if you will, there will be dire consequences, and I'm paraphrasing, that right there is what piqued my interest and caught my attention. Because when he made that threat, guys, it sounded like a very promising threat. And it sounded like if anybody gets involved, the shit is on for whoever gets involved. And then Biden pulls that bullshit move with, I'm going to put more troops in these countries, but we're not going to fight. Then why the fuck bother? Why the fuck disrupt these men and women's lives to bring them to a country you're not going to fight? And they're not bringing them to Ukraine, they're bringing them to Germany, if I'm not mistaken, Poland. So these people and other countries think that Putin is actually going to pull that trigger if they intervene. Now, guys, this is also what you would call a physical distraction. Now, I am looking at this, and first of all, this is real. So, I mean, some people are like, oh, this is just a false flag moment. This ain't a false flag. Motherfuckers are actually dying, getting killed, blown up, and all kinds of shit in the Ukraine. But it is a physical distraction because it's the distraction that's gathering everyone's attention to look at Ukraine. Meanwhile, China is probably pulling some shit with Taiwan. So with that, guys, and the difference between a visual distraction and a physical is a visual is somebody waving at you, you looking at them, and then someone picking your pocket. The physical distraction is someone bumping into you while they pick your pocket. This is what Russia's doing. They're physically distracting the world right now. Meanwhile, China's up to no good. Now, China did do a couple flybys early this morning, and then they're gathering more ships around Taiwan. So that's a little suspicious. Now, I'm going to be doing a separate video on is Taiwan next? We all know the answer to that. Now, am I worried about this Ukraine thing? No, not really. I'm paying attention. I'm paying more attention, or close attention rather, sorry, but I'm not worried about it. What I'm worried about is if Putin makes more threats, and if we get involved and he makes an absolute threat, then I'll start to worry. But outside of that, I'm not worried about it, other than we're probably going to be paying more in gas, and we're going to be paying more in certain items here in the United States. But I'm not worried yet. This is just, again, something to get us distracted and focus on this thing. I'm looking at this and going, all right, Desert Storm. For those of you that remember, when that shit kicked off, the world did the same shit. Everybody was focused on Desert Storm. Everybody was like, oh my God, this is bad. Meanwhile, it stayed over there and it happened over there. If we are not getting involved in Ukraine, we're just gathering our troops to, stand there and watch this fucking country get steamrolled, then it's not really going to affect us in the way a lot of people are saying it is. All right, at least I don't think. I mean, listen, I could be wrong because I've been fucking wrong twice this goddamn month with this whole Ukraine shit. So who knows, guys? But a lot of people said that the Ukraine shit was going to happen. And I was paying attention. This is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to pay attention, not fixate. Pay attention to what's going on. Don't fixate until it comes to your doorstep. Right now, none of this shit's coming to our doorstep. It's staying over there. When it comes here, then we fucking get concerned. If we do happen to spark, or they happen to spark a nuclear war, that's going to be ugly, guys. It's probably going to be the end of humanity, but it's not going to look like the movie War Games with all those missiles flying back and forth on the screen. It's going to look ugly, nonetheless. Certain places like the United States is probably going to get hit in a couple spots. The United States is going to respond, hit a couple places in a couple spots. Then India and Pakistan are going to fucking sit there and try to talk it out before they go to blows. China is going to sit there and start bullying India again before they go to blows. So there's going to be a lot of talk before all the missiles start flying. Again, I know they've done war gaming with nuclear war, and because everybody is a little more pussified than they were 30, 40 years ago, I don't think it's going to look like war games. I think it's going to be more talks before it gets to that level. But it will get to that level because some places will be like, fuck it, I'm just going to launch, like North Korea. North Korea is not going to talk about it. They're going to do it because they have the backing of China and Russia. So there's going to be a lot of interesting shit should we enter World War III, but it's going to look probably a lot different than what we think it is. Now, the more concerning thing for us is not so much nuclear war, though I would rather a cyber attack than a nuclear war. A lot of people are like, a cyber attack is bad. A cyber attack can be dealt with. For those that are not computer savvy, there's a lot of things that you can do with a cyber attack because they can attack the system, the electrical grid. We can get it back online. Whether that's a couple of days, a couple of hours, we can get that back online. We have hackers of our own. Just keep in mind, the United States is not the only people with hackers, and there are other hackers in other parts of the world that would help us get out of that. So it would be a shit show, but we would get the power back. A nuclear war, we ain't getting shit back. We're talking about a whole different society once the radiation levels and dust settles. With a cyber attack, you can get shit back in order, and you can get shit back in order fast. But it's still concerning because they can shut power off for a long period of time, creating havoc. So it's not so much putting us back in the the Dark Ages or any crazy shit like that. It's about creating panic and havoc in this country. And that's what a cyber attack would do. So that's the more concerning thing, right? So don't sit there and think that once the power goes off, that's it, it's game over. If it's an EMP attack, that's game over. But if it's a cyber attack, we can deal with that. We can get shit back up and running. We can't get shit back up and running with an EMP attack because it would take a while to get it back up and running. You see the difference? EMP attack, there's a longer recovery period, and then cyber attack is a shorter recovery period. Sorry, that's the difference. All right, guys, so other than that, listen, hopefully this makes sense. Everybody needs to be watching what's going on overseas right now. Pay closer attention to what's going on overseas right now, but don't panic. Again, now is not the time to panic. Now is the time to grow some balls, stay fucking strong, look at what's going on and go, all right. And if it gets to our doorstep, guys, we're going to do one or two things. We're going to run or we're going to fight. And what I mean by fighting, I mean by we're going to handle our preps, protect our family, and do what needs to be done if we get to that point. Hopefully we don't, but the possibility is there and it's on the table now. All right, guys, so this is the Angry Prepper. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can like and subscribe to the Angry Truth channel, like and subscribe to the Angry Fitness channel, which will be starting March 1st, and like and subscribe to the Angry Lensman channel, and I will see you in the next video.